It's a beautiful fall day here in northern New Jersey where I live. I'm a Cali girl though. I'm from California, so we didn't get such gorgeous fall days. November in California is all about the Santa Ana winds. So if you're watching me from California, hello. And hope you're in, it was the Santa Ana winds and brush fires. That was what November was about when I was growing up. But now it's all about fall leaves. I shot some fall footage yesterday. It was a gloomy day yesterday, but the trees were on fire and we were about to get a rainstorm. So I was afraid if I waited till this morning where it's gorgeously sunny, you wouldn't see the leaf effect wouldn't be as good. So you already saw the footage, I think. I'm not sure exactly where I'm gonna put it, or it's gonna be at the end somewhere. But it is chilly and just blazing sunny, gorgeous blue skies outside. My name is Shannon Bellum. I go by Bellum Make here on YouTube as well as on Ravelry and Instagram. And thank you for joining me for this fall morning to hear about my knitting, because I'm basically going to talk to you all about knitting today. I don't have any sewing content at all because I have been completely obsessively working on this cardigan right here that is on Martha, and I'm going to talk to you about it in a minute. I first want to tell you what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Arboreal sweater by Jennifer Steingass, and it is, I knitted it out of holding 2 strands of fingering weight together in a gradient pattern. I talked about it in a former vlog podcast episode. I'll put it in my show notes, which episode, if you want to hear about my process of knitting it. But it was a nice way to use up a lot of single skeins of similar colored yarns. I didn't do such a nice transition right here, but I think other transitions like the one above here went well, and ones further down went really well, but I like it anyway. So let me talk to you about what Martha's wearing. The sweater that Martha's wearing is not for me. It is a shop sample and new design for Long Island Yarn and Farm. Tabitha commissioned me to make 2 designs for her. One was a shawl, which I showed in my Rhinebeck episode, and I had talked about it in the episodes leading up to it. I haven't found out how it went. It was front and center in her booth though, the shawl pattern. And this cardigan, I had told her I would try to get it done for her for Vogue Knitting Live in Minneapolis, which is this coming weekend. So it's 5 days away. So my plan is to finish knitting this second sleeve over here today and get this on the blocking mat. And then as it dries, I'm going to write the pattern. I'm going to finish writing the pattern. The pattern's about half written. The tough part about the pattern writing is doing all the math for the grading, and then it'll go out to her and she will have the sample and all of that good stuff. Yeah, so hopefully this sample will make it to her booth. I'm not sure when she's leaving, so I have been really, really working hard trying to finish the sweater for her. But if it doesn't make it for that, well, January is Vogue Knitting Live New York, so that's the next time I will see the sweater once I ship it to her. Let me tell you about the yarn, and I want to also just take it off the mannequin, off of Martha, and show you it up close. But I used a sparkle for the, I chose a sparkle for the base. This is her sport base. Sorry, it's not focusing too well. The color is champagne. Hang on. That's her tag. I love how she numbers all of the lots and stuff too. So this particular skein is number 12 of 64. This is a alpaca merino nylon blend. The color champagne, 200 yard put-ups. The purple is this beautiful we're kind of like purple twinsies, me and Martha. It's called Lavender Denim. It's really pretty. This is all I have left of it. And but it doesn't have to do much more. I just have to get the patterning on the cuff, and this should be plenty to do that. I was Tabitha asked me to keep the yarn yield down to a certain amount so that she could, when she puts together a kit for sale, it's not ridiculously like over the cost of what a person would like to spend or what her customers like to spend for a sweater's quantity of yarn. So I have limited myself to 5 skeins total. They I think they're around, yeah, the lavender is $38 and the champagne is $34. So I think I figured out it would be about $160 for a sweater's quantity. They are both alpaca blends, alpaca merino blends. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you about the lavender denim. Oh, it's got silk. The lavender has silk in it, so it's 50% alpaca, 20% silk, and 30% merino. It's so soft. Her yarns are just really, really, really soft yarns. So you can see this is a crop cardigan with some color work, and I want to show you that up close because it's so pretty. I'll undress her. I'm so happy with the way the color work came out. And I spent last weekend, instead of doing a podcast, I charted the pattern and then knit it. And it really took me practically the entire weekend to do both of those. It fits beautifully though. I'm really, really pleased with the fit of the sweater. It's based off of another sweater that I knitted, and I actually haven't released the pattern. So my returning viewers may be wondering what happened. Well, what happened to me was Long Island Yarn and Farm. That's why I haven't released that pattern. So I have named it though, but I'm going to talk more about it in my next episode, because I'll have the pattern released by then. But the grading of the sizing for that, what happened to me with that pattern was that I didn't completely grade all the sizes, and I really wanted to offer, I normally offer only 5 sizes in my sweaters, and I wanted to offer 7. So I graded some of them. I graded the lower, like I always make a sample in the middle of the range, or towards the early middle of the range. So actually dead middle if I'm doing 5 sizes. So the smaller sizes are completely graded and the larger sizes are not. I have to go through and do some math on how the stitch count changes to get to the size that I want, and it's rather tedious work that I really need to have quiet and concentration in order to complete it quickly. So that is what happened with that pattern. So that pattern is waiting for me to grade the last 2 sizes for it. It's been completely test knitted and tech edited, aside from just me going through and doing the math on those sizes. So I will get that released probably this weekend coming, because this guide's going to be done, and yeah, I should be able to finish up that pattern. The photos have been shot for that. I'm going to put a picture here so you know what I'm talking about. But it is another cardigan design. It is just a little bit, it's a longer cardigan. It has the neck drop is not here, it's lower down. There are pockets on it. It's a really, really adorable, beautiful sweater that I made out of indie dyed yarn. And yeah, so that's what's going on with that. And so this is where I'm at with this. And I am this sweater. And this sweater I do not have a name for. It will be named by Tabitha. She's the way this is working, the commission works, is that I knit the pattern, I knit the sweater, I knit her a sample, and I write the pattern, and she buys that as a package. So she buys the sample from me and the pattern, and then she will give the pattern to her customers. So if you bought the kit or a sweater's quantity and expressed interest in wanting to make this sweater, she will give you the pattern. So the pattern, she owns the pattern once I sell it to her, which will be hopefully tomorrow or Tuesday, so that it can make its way to Minneapolis with her. I don't think I'm giving her enough time to do the editing and the tech aspects that she needs to do, though, so I am sad about that, but I work full time and this is a side gig, and yeah, so I do what I can. So yeah, that has been the majority of my knit time right there. I do want to talk to you about the buttons for a little bit, mostly because I have, wait, I'm gonna just swing this around on her. And you can see my very unglamorous sweatpants. I'm perfectly dressed from here up, from the waist up. That's all you see. Anyway, so yeah, I do intend to put buttons on there, and I just thought this would be kind of fun because I found this recently. I got this cigar box of antique and vintage buttons in I don't even remember where, but I've had this box probably 20 years. I think my mother got it for me. She probably picked it up at an auction or at a garage sale in upstate New York. And I still have a lot. I've used it. I've used a lot of the buttons that were in it, but I still have a lot of vintage buttons. So these are ones that I've washed. I have a lot that I haven't washed. So these what I did was, these are all pearl buttons. Aren't they gorgeous? So I think the majority of the buttons predate I think they date to like turn of the 20th century up through about the 1930s. I don't think there was anything newer than 1930, 1940 in the box when I got it. There were a lot of these shell buttons. This particular bag is a bag that I have cleaned. So the way I cleaned them was I put them in some bleach and soaked them for a while because they were really yellow, and they had some old thread and stuff. They still have, some of them still have old thread in them, stuck in them. And then after I did that, I started to string together buttons that were similar. So then I could, when I am making something, I can just you know, cut open the string and take out the number that I need. And yeah, that took a good long while. There are some really gorgeous, these were in the box. So these beautiful metal buttons, tiny, tiny little things. So this definitely dates back to a time period when people saved buttons. So if a garment was being recycled into rags or cloth that would be used for cleaning things or polishing things, they would chop the buttons off. So I have these massive ones too. So I really have like this box rather is chock full of I have some wooden spools in there too, chock full of vintage buttons. And I've added, besides taking out, I've also added to it. I need a grandchild to, I don't have any grandchildren. I have children, but no grandchildren yet. I need a grandchild to come over and want to sort through this and play with this, and help me group together more of them. This is a little collect. I love this one right here. This is very Art Nouveau. That brass button. It's a single. I only have one of them. And yeah, this is my collection, I think, of single metal buttons that don't really match each other, but anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I've had this sitting on the side. Oh, here's the dirty ones. These are the dirty pearl buttons. They're really gross. So these still need to be bleached and sorted through, whereas these are bleached but not sorted through. In addition, I used to work in the garment industry, and one of my jobs was to buy buttons. So I had a lot of friends in the industry, and I found inside my button box, so this will give you an idea how old this is, because these buttons are from a sweater that I made for my now 27-year-old. So this, I guess I've had this for more than that, more since before he was born. So 27 years or so, but these, you're not going to see these too well. Let me take them out. So what these are, I had asked one of my button vendors, one of my good friends, to give me some buttons that were appropriate for children's garments. And she gave me a whole bunch of, these are a lion. I think you can see that, right? You can see that it's a lion. She gave me a bunch of undyed. These are plastic buttons that are undyed. And then as I needed her to dye them, I gave her a little bit of yarn. I'm just going to show you. I gave her some yarn, and then she dyed my buttons for me. And that's a bunny. That's a cute little bunny. Wait, okay. I want you to see the whole thing. There you go. Yeah, so I had dyed to match buttons for my son's sweaters. So it was really cool. And I clearly have more that I never used. And I don't have any way to dye. I wonder if you could dye them yourself. There's probably a way now these days. You could figure it out. I also got a whole bunch of safety pins in this button box. So they were still in the original bag. For the sweater that you see though on Martha, I am planning to use these shell buttons that are also I got from one of my friendly button vendor people. But that's the button that I'm planning to use. I almost always use natural shell buttons on all of my handmade items, whether it's, sorry, I'm doing a horrible job showing you this button. So this is a natural shell button. And I'm planning to use it this way. So there will probably be 5 or 6 buttons on this. I don't make buttonholes as a general rule. I don't make them as I knit. I instead will find a spot in the yarn and work the button through, and then do an overhand stitch around the knit to create a buttonhole. That's how I do my buttonholes, because I like my buttonholes to be nice and tight. And yeah, so that's why I do it that way. But yeah, I wanted to just share that. I thought that was really cool. So it says that cigars were 5 cents. I should really do a little research now that the internet is a thing, because when I got this box, the internet was not a thing. It was just a dream. So yeah, that's my first work in progress, and what has been taking the majority of my time. And sadly, I haven't been able to make as much progress, but on my other works in progress. However, I want to show you this. I am so excited, and I am so looking forward to getting back to work on this. This is the Elton cardigan by Joji Locatelli, and I did a gradient. So here, let me show you. I think the last time I showed this on the channel, it was just the dark blue. I had only knitted the dark blue. That's the neckline right there, front neck. But now I have all 4 shades of blue in the knit. I have to finish this stripe, this light blue stripe, then do another section of mohair, and then one final light blue stripe, one final section of mohair, then the ribbing. It is pretty close to being complete and taking me to Sleeve Island, a place where I spend a lot of time, apparently. Or actually, I don't spend very much time at all on sleeves. I tend to knit them pretty quickly, because they're pretty easy when they're just stockinette. But oh my gosh, is this not gorgeous? I just love this yarn so much. It's just so pretty. I love the way the dark blue looks. I almost wish I could have done the whole thing in dark blue. But hey, I can always make another one, right? The yarn, let me tell you about the yarn. The yarn is pretty special. I don't know if I have that. Oh yes, I do. I do. The yarn is called Varbitt, and it is a Norwegian wool yarn. I got a collection of skeins that were all like dyed in a gradient. So it was sold in a 4-color pack. Each skein is, I think, 50 grams. I ended up with 800 yards. Did I end up with 800? No, I'm wrong. I'm going to put the yardage and stuff on the screen because I don't want to do the math in my head right now. But I think it was 200 grams. That's what it was. 200 grams total. So it is actually, you know what? No, it's in meters, so I wouldn't be able to tell the yardage. But anyway, yeah, it's a lot of yarn. I have plenty of yarn left. And I also got the mohair from Varbitt. I think I have the tag here. Yeah, there's the tag for the mohair. Mohair Silk Blend. This is also a gradient. You can see it in the skein. So you can see how the outside is lighter than the inside. And what I did, I'm almost done actually with the second skein. What I did was I pulled from the middle to get my gradient in the knit. That's all I have left of one of my skeins. I bought 2 balls of the mohair. I pulled from the middle to get the darkest mohair at the top and then just continued to pull from it. And so now I'm on the lightest mohair down here at the bottom. When I use up this little dab, I'm sure I'll use it up in my next mohair section. I will pull from the outside to stay with the lightest blue on the bottom of the sweater. And then when I go back to do the sleeves, I'll pull from the middle again. And that should do me. That should do me very nicely. The pattern is written. Let me show you a picture. I do have the pattern. I like to print my patterns out. The pattern is written for a 3/4 sleeve. I'm planning to do a long sleeve unless yardage doesn't let me do a long sleeve. But I think I'm going to be okay. I seem to have a lot of yardage left, so it should work just fine. And yeah, and then I'll put some pretty shell buttons on it. Maybe gray, I don't know, maybe blue toned, smoke they call them, is what they're called in the industry. So yeah, I am loving this. It is beautiful, beautiful yarn, fun to knit. This has been a very interesting sort of obsessive, for me anyway, knit. And if I wasn't in the middle of the row, I'd put it on Martha so you could get an idea of what it's looking like. When I put my sweaters on a form and stand back and look at them, I think that's when I get most excited about them, to just see how they look. I love getting to the bottom where I can cast off the ribbing and then pop it on the mannequin and leave it sit there. So also, I forgot to say about this sweater, because it's the alpaca blend, I expect to get some stretching happening. So I do think she will, it'll be a little bit of a longer sweater. I mean, it is hitting high hip, so high hip is right here. It hits high hip on me as well, with my pant line being about here. So I think it's a great length. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with this too. This is going to be about the same length, I think. And I expect to also get some growth when this gets into blocking, and I think all of that will stretch. Yeah, all right. That is my my second work in progress. My third work in progress, which has not been getting any love at all. I've been working on the Elton cardigan when this was in a position where it wasn't like that. I've been taking the Elton cardigan to work with me, to knit in meetings and stuff. And this past week, though, I've been taking this and knitting on the sleeves. But like I said, I hope to finish it today. So after I'm done writing the pattern, I can move on and hopefully finish the Elton. And this is my Rocaine sweater I was doing as a knit along with Amy Florence of Stranded Dye Works podcast. She had a knit along that ran through the end of October, so I probably would have finished it too if I hadn't had the other issue with needing to get that done. I have completed one sleeve and am in progress on Sleeve Island for the second one. This blue is really a gorgeous, beautiful, jewel-toned, turquoisey, periwinkle blue, and it is not periwinkle, turquoise, jewel turquoise, blue. Periwinkle's lavender. That was like the button that I showed you. And it's really not showing up well on camera in terms of what color it really is. I got some really, I didn't alternate skeins with this, and I got some of that wild pooling that happens. The pooling actually shows up more on screen than in person. I don't mind it though. It reminds me of the 70s, that pooling, which I love the 70s. Let me tell you about the yarn. The yarn is a DK weight superwash merino from the periwinkle sheep. That's probably why I said periwinkle. The color is called the Warm Ewe. The Warm Ewe is a local yarn shop in Chatham, New York, which isn't far from Rhinebeck area. And I have friends that have houses up there, so I was up there last winter shopping and saw the yarn shop, and we ducked in, and yeah, I'll just show you a picture. Well, I'll pop it on screen. I probably already did, of what the finished sweater looks like. It's from Pom Pom magazine, the pattern, the Rocaine sweater. I have to say I did not enjoy it. That was not an enjoyable knit. I didn't like the chart. I didn't like the, I mean, I hope I like the sweater when it's done. It looks a little short to me, and I already made it 3 inches longer than the pattern. And she has you do a provisional cast on, and then you do the body. So you provisionally cast on here, and then you knit up, and then you come back and you do the ribbing. It's got a split hem, which is cool. I do like that. So you end up knitting the ribbing from here down. And I'll have to see how much it blocks out. I hope that it'll grow in blocking. I may go back and add some inches. I'll just have to see how it looks. I think that's the hardest thing, is sort of figuring out how long I want a sweater. I find that challenging. Something just fell. Did I lose a needle? Yeah, I think I lost my spare needle. It must have fallen. There it is. So I hope I like it. I hope I like to wear it more than I liked knitting it, because knitting it was not fun. I did not enjoy that chart at all, and I found it frustrating at times. I think that this section right here, it was hard to memorize. It's got a lot going on. It's probably like a 20-row repeat, like yeah. This way, rows. Yes, it's a short repeat this way, but it's a long repeat this way. It was not memorizable, where the rest of it was. Like this center tree was memorizable. And so I had to keep looking at the chart, keep remembering which row I was on. It was, yeah, I didn't like that. Did not like that. Hope I like it. Hope I like it in finished object. We'll see. So I am making that for myself. I'm making the Elton for myself too. My final work in progress is kind of a sad story. It starts with a sad story. I hope we'll have a happy ending. I frogged a sweater in the last couple weeks. So I was looking at patterns because I want to do the Christy Glass Clinton Hill birthday knit along, which starts in Clinton Hill Cashmere, starts in January and goes through next April. So I was trying to figure out whether or not I wanted to make something, like design a pattern, or if I wanted to work with a pattern. My MO with designing, because designing really doesn't pay. It's kind of something just to do for your own self-edification, for me anyway. It's like a creative outlet, and it's cool, and I really, really love it, but it's a lot of work for not a lot of income. And I'm fine with that, because the way that I design is I make things for me. So if there isn't something, if I can't find the pattern that I have in mind, I'll just go ahead and make it myself. So anyway, I was looking at patterns, and I came across the Donna pullover by, I want to say her name right, Josée Paquin, I want to say is her name. Yeah, Josée Paquin. So I came across this pattern, and I was thinking that would be a really cute, a very cute thing to do out of the Clinton Hill cashmere. However, it is a fingering weight pullover, so I just queued it and thought about it. And then I was thinking about my works in progress, because I was thinking ahead about when I finished this, and how I really have a few works in progress that I haven't made any progress on since the summertime, since probably late spring, early summer. I just haven't worked on them, and I don't know why. Sometimes, like, when I'm knitting, and I'm sure a lot of you work this way, I knit on whatever it is I'm most interested in finishing, right? I'm a process knitter mostly. Like, I don't get as much enjoyment out of a finished object as I do out of the process of knitting. I get much more enjoyment, and I kind of like, whenever I finish something, I'm always like, I feel a little let down. I don't know why. I assume it's because the process is over. So I think that's why I feel a little let down. Anyway, because I'm a process knitter, I kind of go with the flow in terms of what I feel like casting on. And I'm self-indulgent in what I cast on, and I'm self-indulgent in my purchases, and in allowing myself to set projects aside and let them lay for a while. However, I do want to finish up some of the things that have been languishing, and so I was thinking a lot about what was languishing and why, and whether or not I really was never going to finish them, because I just wanted to frog the yarn. And there was one of my, I think I have like 4 different things that have been languishing whips that I realized I was never going to finish. And I want to just tell you what it is before I show you my Donna pullover in the same yarn. It was one of my own designs. It was this little springy pullover. This is my design sketch with some of my notes on what I was planning to do. I think the camera isn't really focusing. It's focusing on the mannequin instead. There we go. I think you get the idea. Anyway, really cute pullover. I was planning to do a mosaic pattern on the bottom. Mosaic knitting, which is you knit 2 rows of a color, and of one color, then you knit 2 rows of the next color, and you slip the pattern stitches, so you're not carrying the yarn ever. You're never carrying the color with mosaic knitting, which is really cool. I am going to do more mosaic knit designing. I do have a work on my design board, which is behind Martha. You can see it peeking out over there. I will be doing some mosaic knitting on a design that I'll probably be starting in January, or maybe late December, maybe over winter break. But this was my second spring of trying to get this sweater going. And it wasn't that I didn't know what to do, because I knew what to do, and I had written the pattern. The way I work is that I do a sketch, and I swatch, and it goes on my design board, and then when I'm ready to knit it, I write myself some notes. There's some notes here on the back of how to start, and then from there it becomes a Word doc that I edit as I go. And so I have a very good idea. I had it worked out basically through to the bottom, essentially. Like, I knew what I was going to do. I had a plan. I had it written. I had a map. I had a roadmap. I just was lacking motivation. So I decided to frog that sweater and cast on these gorgeous, gorgeous yarns, which I'll tell you in a minute. Cast them on into the Donna pullover, and that is what you are seeing here. I have this on Addie's, which Addie's, the cord is, if it gets kinked, it stays kinked until you soak it. But I just thought these 2 gorgeous yarns, this blush pink with this hot yellow, needed to be together. And I know, like, to me, and I'm sure to you too, these colors really don't say fall. They're more spring. But that's, I was fine with that. I just really was anxious to see these two yarns get used together because I just felt like they just go so beautifully together. And I just thought I really wanted them to be a sweater, and I was okay with the sweater not being my own design. I was not wedded to that at all. I just really wanted the yarns to be together. So let me tell you the yarns. The this beautiful pale blush pink, which I have 3 skeins of, is by Sweet Sparrow Yarns, and it is her MCN base, which is, I think she calls it Gosling, yep. And I'm having focus issues today. Whoa. Pulling. There we go. Gosling. And the color is called Queenie. I haven't seen this color done by her. So the MCN is 80-10-10. 80% superwash, 10% nylon, and 10% cashmere. It's a 400-yard put-up. I haven't seen her do Queenie in a while. I did buy this yarn 2 years ago because, like I said, it was my second spring trying to knit this sweater. And I had tabled it and then picked it up again this past spring, really intending to get right through it, and I didn't make it. But she is making a color that's similar. She calls it Pajama Day. It's a little bit more of it's a little more contrasting than that. This is a very tonal pink, I would say. It's a very tonal pale blush pink, so beautiful. And the other one is more contrasty, so there's like, her Pajama Day has like kind of like the color of the walls, or maybe this color with deeper tones of pink and purple in it. The yellow is also an MCN base. This is from Baah Yarns in her Savannah base, and the color Lemonade. Also a MCN, 80-10-10, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, 80% superwash merino. So that is my sad Frogtown story that I hope has a happy ending. I am super excited about this sweater. It has a little bit of a unique construction. As you saw, you knit it flat for a while, and then you knit in the round. So I'm interested in getting into the round part, and I do think it has a shirt tail hem, if I remember right. I am going to change the striping. I don't really like, she has the stripes moving further and further apart, which I think looks fine down here, but I don't like how close these are. So I'm probably going to start with this width here, and so I'll do 2 sections that are that width, and then I'll go into the striping the way that she has it. So, and then mine will have it's where this is dark gray, mine will be pink with yellow stripes, and then my sleeves will be yellow with pink stripes. So I think this is gonna be great, and I have a feeling I'm gonna love this as a sweater, and I'm gonna want to make more. So yeah, well, those are all my works in progress. Like I said, I don't have any finished objects, but I am super close to having 3 finished objects. You're unlikely to see this sweater again. I will take some pictures of it so I can show you next time. I am intending to mail this out to Tabitha before I podcast again. So this is as finished as you'll see it. The little bulb stitch markers are indicating where I've decreased. I keep them on until I get the pattern writing done, it's just quicker, faster checking than trying to find where the decreases are. I can count really quickly the number of rows and also the number of decreases. So that's what that's about. That's also why they're on the sleeves as well. So yeah, I do have some new acquisitions to share with you. I want to show you that. I talked about my look back. Did I talk about that? I don't remember. I recorded the beginning of my my episode a couple times. So but I had some regrets of not buying Neighborhood Fiber Company yarns. So I went onto their website when I got home, and while I was at Rhinebeck, and I went onto their website when I got home and saw that they were closing out a yarn base, and it was marked, it was about 30% off. So I decided to buy a sweater's quantity, and I want to make the I think I'm going to make, here's the colors that I got. Aren't they beautiful? I'm gonna use these to make a pullover whose name I don't remember, but I'm gonna have it on screen right now. I'll tell you the name as well. So I bought enough of each of the colors so that I could do that pullover. I'll start with this color right here. This is called, these are all DK weights. They are all BFL cashmere and silk. So really super soft. I got the idea actually to do, when I was looking at their yarn, I also went online. It's their Cobblestone base. Sorry, I'm not really concentrating so well on doing all the podcastery things. So you could see it was $32, but it was marked down to $24. So that was like a really, really good buy. This color is called Oaklee. I bought the rest of it, so there was only one skein. So this will be the top of the sweater and the bottom. And then this warm brown called Druid Hill will be the middle. And this gorgeous rusty red, which I just love, called Bolton Hill, will be in between. So it'll basically be striping like that. Is that not gorgeous? This is so 70s, and I love, that is my favorite decade for clothes. I just really love 70s styles, but yeah, I think this is gonna be really fantastic. And it's so Rhinebeck-y, and just with its fall colors, and I'm so excited. I'm excited to get that cast on. So yeah. My other acquisition from this last couple weeks is the last of a club color that I joined a 3-month club with Casual Fashion Queen. This is her Studio Ghibil. I put it on screen so you could see it. It's the last, I had a 3-month one, a 3-month club subscription, and so this is my last one. This color is called Arrietty, so it's based on characters that the studio made. And sorry about the earthquake you're experiencing right now. My cat is shaking the table. Yeah. Are you done? I have to clip his claws. He's getting stuck on things. Okay. So yeah, this is called Arrietty, and I'll put that is the name of a film and a main character. I will put a picture of her on screen so you can see where the inspiration comes, but it's a beautiful autumnal speckled yarn, highly speckled yarn. It is her 80/20 superwash nylon blend, and I also realized when I was prepping how great it looks with these, but yeah, DK versus fingering, so not gonna end up, unlikely to be blended together. She included with this shipment, since it was the end, a what do they call them? A yarn ball holder. I don't know. I assume this is a character or imagery from one of the films, but I don't recognize it. I have to ask my sons because they're better with that studio's films. They know those studios' films better than I do. Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's got to have something to do with it, right? My other look back was I really wanted this from Indie Untangled. This is a Whiskey and Whips pin. So adorable. I got an email. I'm on Indie Untangled. I subscribed to her newsletter, and she had sent a newsletter out saying that she had a few in stock, and I really, really wanted it. So I just loved it. The little cup has... it's knitted. It's so cute. So cute. So yeah, I thought that would be really cool. It seems so Scottish to me. And yeah, I'm gonna put that on some bag. And my last acquisition, and this brings me back around to the Christy Glass Knit Along with Clinton Hill, is Making Magazine. So before I even saw this magazine, I have been really obsessed with black and white lately, like just black and white as, you know, the contrast of black and white. So I've been sort of thinking along those lines, and I thought that with the Clinton Hill, before I even saw this Making Magazine was coming out in a black and white issue, I had thought I wanted to do a black and white cashmere colorwork sweater for the knit along. So I saw that this was out. I ordered it and I picked it up. So I'm thinking I'm going to do something along the lines of that in black and white. Though I think I'm going to do mostly black. A mostly black sweater with white. Oh my gosh, this magazine is so gorgeous. Look at the imagery. It's so gorgeous. So I went on to Making Magazine's website to purchase it, and I saw that, look at that black and white. So pretty. So pretty. I saw that if I bought a subscription, I would get their color magazine, which came out earlier this year. They do 2 magazines a year, and I had been thinking a lot about getting the color magazine. I just never picked it up. I never saw it. I love that this has, because this is going to be very poignant, this has an article about mending in it, mending your knits and different ways to mend, because I frequently will put holes in my elbows, especially my right elbow, because at work I have a L-shaped desk and my right elbow often sits on the arm while I type on my computer, as I have a laptop that I keep in the front of my desk, and so I will often wear through the right elbows, and I have done elbow patches, which I'll show you next time. I have some mending that I need to do, so maybe in my next episode I'll share that with you if I get to that. And I think that is it. And I'm doing well. I like to stay under an hour. I try to stay around 30 minutes, but this I had a lot to get through because I hadn't podcast a regular update video in a while. But thank you so much for spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you are looking forward to seeing more and seeing how my works in progress go. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend and enjoy your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.